Now by Congressman Mike Waltz from the 6th Congressional District, joining us live this morning on WNDB. And good morning, Congressman. You and Senator Marco Rubio are working on getting the Florida government to reconsider its state pension plans, funneling the China, which I guess is similar to the TSP issue we've talked about. How big of an investment are we making in China anyway?
Hey, thanks, Mark. And yeah, thanks for bringing this up. So we had some success in working with the president and this board on the TSP. The federal pension fund has reversed its decision. That has $700 billion in assets. And now we're shifting to the state pension fund. Florida is the fourth largest. It has $200 billion in assets, and it has for some time been investing in. So what happens is they invest in these international indexes, and two of the three that the Florida pension has includes the Beijing Stock Exchange. And when you invest into the Beijing Stock Exchange, you're essentially investing in these state-owned enterprises that are engaged in China's military buildup, in their surveillance state, and in espionage around the world. And so we're going to start working with all of these state pensions to get them to stop. We need to cut off these hundreds of billions in capital that's going from the United States to Beijing. Mark, the bottom line is we are funding and building this Frankenstein, the world's toughest and worst adversary that we've ever faced.
So what kind of options might we have? Do we move it out of the Nikkei index? Do we move it to London? Do we move it someplace else, maybe to a friendlier country?
Yeah, so there are other international investment funds that do not include the Beijing index, and that's what we're asking Governor DeSantis, Attorney General Ashley Moody, and the Chief Financial Officer Petronas to do. They can make that executive decision. We think it's the right call. I think this is just really kind of a wake-up call that a lot of these funds don't realize how much money that they're pumping over into Beijing. And I think if we cut off capital, that's how China is funding its Belt and Road Initiative, its debt diplomacy. One of the key companies on the Beijing exchange just launched 2 ballistic missile submarines. I mean, again, it's literally our money that is funding the rise of China. And I think past administrations have thought that's no big deal, that we can peacefully coexist. I think in the wake of coronavirus, there's going to be a wake-up call that China is not our friend. They are not a responsible actor. And in fact, in their own words, they seek to dominate a new world order where they call the shots.
The president made a statement yesterday, Congressman, saying that if the coronavirus does, in fact, come back, he won't shut down the economy this time. Can he actually make that happen? Can he stand by that, or will he be pushed by Congress for more bailouts?
Well, I certainly think you're going to see a push, from the left. I mean, they're just they won't stop printing money. It seems like up here, unfortunately. But let's look back at what happened with SARS, which did kill 13,000 people in 2009. We've learned a lot. What happened with SARS was it kind of trailed off in the summer. It tried to come back as the weather cooled in the fall, but we knew more then. We knew that the part of the population it was attacking, that at that point it was children, actually, and we had therapeutics and antivirals in place. So I think we can walk and chew gum. We can protect our seniors when it comes to coronavirus and the infirm with underlying conditions, while at the same time putting social distancing in place. We know more about how it spreads, and we just can't. I just don't think it's sustainable to try to shut down our economy another time. I just don't think it's an option anymore.
Okay, there is some buzz going on with China. They buzzed a series of our jets last week flying somewhere in the region. Couple that with the fact that they're moving on Hong Kong again, and we still have the unresolved issue of coronavirus. Do you see that we'll have to send ships to that region? Now, couple that with the fact that we've got an issue going on with Venezuela where they're getting oil from Iran. Are we going to have a naval blockade in either place?
No, I don't see us going that far, but the Chinese are trying to, and so are the Venezuelans, the Iranians, ISIS, and Al Qaeda and others are trying to take advantage of this virus. And fortunately, we have the world's best military out there to put a stop, to put deterrence in place. But the Chinese are increasingly they're harassing fishing vessels, merchant vessels, even one of our destroyers last week. They are increasingly getting belligerent, and I think we just have to continue on the international stage as they try to present themselves as a benevolent actor to point them out for the authoritarian regime that they are and all of the badness that comes with that.
Last week, Democrats said that they would believe that government oversight is necessary to look at states that were having trouble with their unemployment payments, states like Florida. Do you concur that if the states can't straighten this out, the feds may need to come in to assist, or do you want the federal government to stay out of it?
What's interesting is the governor's office put out some statistics. I mean, obviously, this is a state issue, and I think it should stay a state issue. That if you pull out the folks who are not eligible for unemployment, that actually 90 to 95%, I think the statistics I saw, Mark, have been paid out. So it looks like to me that they're getting their arms around, this was an avalanche. It was unprecedented. And clearly the bureaucracy was and the systems were totally overwhelmed. And I would expect Tallahassee to fix those and learn from that going forward.
Quick exit question. When does Congress go back into session?
Quick answer. It's all up to Nancy Pelosi, but I'm actually in D.C. right now still working. And one more quick thing, Mark, we have a really exciting launch next week down in Cape Canaveral. First American astronauts launch from American soil since President Obama shut down the space shuttle, and it's going to be a fantastic time. America will continue to reach for the stars even in the middle of this crisis.
Very good. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us. Have a safe holiday weekend, and we'll talk to you very soon, sir.